Hello, welcome all for the second class of this week. In this class, we will study to comprehend the students on the characteristics features of goods and services tax, and also to help the students in understanding the working mechanism of goods and services tax. The important features of GST are listed. Let's see the important features of GST, namely, number 1, GST is an indirect tax applicable on supply of goods and services. Second, it is a value added tax leviable on goods or services or both, and it is not origin based tax. Number 3, it is a destination based consumption tax. Number 4, in India, GST is working on the concept of dual model, which means both the central and state governments are levying tax on the common base. The tax levied by central government is known as CGST. The tax levied by states and union territories are known as CGST or UTGST. For the transaction taken place between two states or the state and union territories are known as IGST, that is integrated GST. This tax is exclusively collected by central government. For the import of goods and services, it is difficult to trace the supplier because he is outside the country. In such a case, it is deemed to be treated as interstate supplies, and on import, IGST is levied along with applicable customs. The tax rates on CGST, SGST or UTGST and IGST is mutually agreed by both state and center under the guidance of GST Council. The new indirect tax, that is GST, replaced the following central tax which were existed since from independence are central excise duty, additional duties of customs which was commonly known as CVD, service tax, cess and surcharges, etc. State tax were also merged GST, which is VAT, CST, purchase tax, luxury tax, entry tax, entertainment tax, etc. This tax is applicable to all goods, services except for alcohol for human consumption and petroleum products. There are 5 petroleum products which are applicable for levying GST from the date in which GST Council will recommend are crude, petrol, diesel, aviation turbine fuel and natural gas. On tobacco, still excise duties are levying, but these are also subject to GST, but for the time being compensation are being levied. The exemption threshold limit for the levying CGST and SGST is up to rupees 20 lakh for the states other than special category states, up to rupees 10 lakh for the special category states. For small taxpayers, there is a consumption scheme in which tax will be paid at a flat rate without credits having annual turnover up to rupees 1 crore and rupees 75 lakh for special category states enumerated in Article 279A. But now this limit is raised to 1.5 crore. The minimum number of exempted goods and services is listed and which are same throughout the country. Any supplies made in the nature of exports and supply made special economic zones and SEZ units are 0 rated. Any tax paid on the inputs is claimed against the output tax in the prescribed manner of the GST Act 2017. Returns must be filed electronically on the different dates prescribed for the different persons. Tax can be paid in various alternative modes of payment such as internet banking, through debit or credit card, through National Electronic Fund, that is NEFT, or RTGS, that is also known as real time gross settlement. There is a provision of a self assessment system of the taxes payable by the registered person. For the purpose of verifying the compliance with the GST regulation, there is a necessity of conducting of audit of documents of registered person. The person who defaults in making the payment of tax, from him arrears of tax can be recovered through detaining of sales of goods and services, movable and immovable property of him. There is a statutory body for revising the provisions, rates and settling the disputes of tax between the central and state government, which is popularly known as GST Council. Summary of this class. This class is fundamentally provided the goods inputs on GST working mechanism through analyzing the salient features of GST. The salient features provides the idea to the students on various crucial aspects of GST, such as the concept, working nature of GST, the classification government's powers in levying and collecting the tax, etc.